Hey guys, welcome to my Season 14 Lacerate Druid guide. I did this last season and it was rockin', and I have to say it's a little bit better this season. Let me just go over where I think this build sits. Currently, I think it is as good, or in some cases better, than all the other Druid builds. I mean, this thing is fully comparable to the Storm Druid builds that are out there. It might not have as much pushing power, but it really rocks in the speed clear department. We got that. Holding one button, run around, kill everything. Everything sucks into you and dies. So far, the highest I've done is pit 120, and I'm sure I could go significantly further with a little bit more gear and optimization. Let's cover the gear real quick. I'm using Gthlan's Birthright. This isn't required, it's just I found the mythic, it's good damage reduction. If you don't have this, you can use a normal one, or you could just use any old damage reduction aspect. On all your defensives, you just want standard defensives, willpower, max life, armor, all res. Bad Wolf's Glee, obviously this is the one mythic that you're going to craft. You can see mine is crafted down here. You want max resource if you can here. Max resource does scale your damage with Ancestral Guidance, so you try and squeeze that in where you can. 4 skill ranks is also very useful because it does turn our ultimate into a core skill. For our gloves and both rings, these are interchangeable offensive aspects, I'm using Followed Path, Behemoth Brawler, and Arch Druids. Those are just simple multipliers, 60%, 60%. This one gives +2 alt ranks with 55%. For your pants, you absolutely have to have Dibolt's Will. We get Unstoppable through the Bloodhound, but you can also use the Earthen Bulwark if you prefer. Boots, between your boots and your amulet, there's only really 2 aspects that help you for utility, for damage. You can get the Anger Management and the Storm, I don't even know what it's called. The one that makes Storm vulnerable here. And those are interchangeable, so whichever one you happen to roll better on your amulet, for your secondary affix on your amulet, you can put this other one in your boots. Weapon, obviously you want Gem Strength here. I got a decent roll. I got ultimate skills, so that's also decent. Not as good as Gem Strength, but I do have the Crushing here because it's the largest multiplier, so you put that on your weapon. For all your offensive pieces, you're just looking for multipliers and crit chance. It's pretty easy to get attack speed capped with Werewolf form and all the bonuses. You do need attack speed. Make sure you do not neglect attack speed. Crit chance is a little harder to get capped. I have crit chance tempered on my weapon, and I think one ring, and the amulet, and the gloves. And even at that, I'm not crit chance capped. I'm only at 82.5, but I'm running the rune, which will get it to 92.5. The Gar rune. That's what it's called. And the other rune I'm using is Earthen Bulwark with the Nagu, because I'm rocking the whole zoo. Last season I used Lightning Storm, keep Ring of Star of the Skies going. You do not need that. We're not using Ring of Star of the Skies anymore. It's not really worth it. So I only have Hurricane as a toggle, and then I am, as far as the rest of my skill points, they're all just put in here in the defensives, and maxed out Lacerate, and 1 point each in the upgrades to your Wolves, Vine, and Ravens. Now, the most important one here is the Wolves, because it gives you 40% attack speed. Put the other note up here. Just need 1 point here and here and here. Point of Hurricane is to make everybody vulnerable, and it also applies Weakened, yeah, which is a nice little tanky boost. Of course, max out Lacerate, and you'll want this one so you get more damage per enemy, and then this one so you get more damage. A different enemy, more damage for the same enemy. So down here, this one is the one you want to use for 99% of the content. If you're just doing bosses, single target only, swap to this one. It really is a noticeable improvement. If I'm bossing, it is worth the 1 button click. For charms, we use the full red wolf moon set. You do need to have werewolf skills or shapeshifting skills on all of these, except for maybe 1 or 2 max resource. It's kind of weird depending on where the breakpoints are. Your max resource, you want it to be around 200 or so, and if not, you want that. If you get a GA skill rank or a GA max resource, just throw that one on. I'm using the Bloodmad Idol this season instead of Endurant Faith. I find I don't really need the defenses, and I could definitely use the offense. The Burn Dot is actually very heavily mitigated by the 3-set bonus on the Red Wolf set, which heals me for 70% of the damage you've taken, so you sort of are healing as much as you're taking damage for that. Onto the Spirit Boons, I have the Extra Max Spirit, just because That's damage with Ancestral Guidance. I have increased crit chance just to help get me closer to that 100% and crit damage. Attack speed is another one you might want to consider depending upon your gear. Make sure you check your attack speed, open up your sheet in the middle of a fight, and see where your actual attack speed is with all the buffs. You want, again, 100%. It directly scales Lacerate's damage. It doesn't tell you that, but it does. You want increased ultimate duration, which is kind of weird, but you need it because both of the upgrades do more damage per successive hit. And lastly, I'm just using Masochistic because it's the only one that really helps. It's just a 10% damage multiplier. Paragon, not much change here. Fang and Claw on the base board. I'm using Undaunted on the Lust for Carnage board. Ancestral Guidance, I am using Outmatch over here on Heightened Malice. I have Werewolf and Constricting Tendrils as Spirit. That should cover the mechanics. There's one more thing I was going to point out. The season directly helps our build. Since our damage with Lacerate scales per enemy hit, having the rifts in the pit enables us to push a lot further, as we usually run out of enemies and are just sitting there hitting the tanky ones. Now you can run over to the tears and just grab up some more enemies and do more damage. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will update the planner here shortly.